So howdy folks, and welcome to my review of the CCA CA10, not to be confused with the C10, which is a hybrid. And yeah, so these are a 5 balanced armature per side, so no hybrid at all. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimers, these are actually sent out to me by KZ, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video, and all thoughts and opinions are my own, and yeah, let's just carry on. So this kind of box is a little bit more premium than the usual stuff I've had from KZ lately. So CA10, like I said, the C10 is a 4BA 1DD hybrid, so it's quite close, so you make sure you get the right one. Obviously mine's a no mic, nothing there, nothing there. Some information on the back, which is very hard to see. It's just address information, contact information, stuff like that. So it says they're bringing an extraordinary audio experience beyond imagination for everyone is our goal of unremitting efforts. Yep. So then you got this little metal plaque, 10 units balanced armature earphone, so it's 10 units total, because it's 5 per side. And at least with this, because it's a clear shell, you can actually see all the internals. So like I said before, these are 5 balanced armatures per side. It's a really big shell, so there's nothing really there. Crossover board there. You can see the balanced armatures here. None of them are in the nozzle, which is always a better sign. And there's the base one there. And that's it. I do like it. It's the shell is a bit big for what it is, but at least you can see the armatures quite clearly. So this includes all the usual, the new usual paperwork. So I guess that's QC in front. There's 2 of those. Tips are small and large. Obviously, it comes with these ones, which you get on KZs as well. User guide. Obviously, you've seen these before. It's the usual information and it's kind of safety measures, really. And let's see what cable we get. Also, as a spoiler, I've actually been using these, and they're actually already graphed. So that's always, you can always check the graph. I didn't find them very difficult to power or anything like that. So yeah, this is the kind of cable, kind of more standardized. So obviously right angled there, which is cool. Mine's got no mic, and obviously that's the type of connectors. There's left, as you can see. But yeah, on the whole, it's not a bad cable. So yeah, so obviously I've already graphed these. I've also already been using these as a sneak peek. So obviously you've seen everything you get. So I'm going to do yeah. So next clip, I'm going to spend a bit more time with them. And yeah, so you'll see me in the future. So yeah, so finally on to the review of the CCA CA10. Obviously it looks like its big brother, the CA24. I think the shell is the same size. But anyway, let's quickly go over it. Obviously you can see straight in. There's the crossover board there. It says CA10 10 balanced armatures, which is obviously total. There's a mixture of some BAs there. And then you can see the rest of them here. So you can see they've even got balls up towards the top. Again, which is really quite nice bit of build. But doesn't mean if they've got a good tuning. Obviously I'll get to the sound in a bit. Yeah, so let's go on to comfort. I actually had no issues considering. But it's got a fin, so that may or may not affect you, so you have to bear that in mind. But comfort was fine. Isolation again was actually very good because it's an all BA one. They're not fully sealed because they have to vent to get the pressure out, but the isolation obviously by design is very good because it's all BA. If it's a DD unit in there as well, obviously it has to vent that, so isolation isn't always the best. So they're like together. So power and sensitivity is, again, I didn't really have any issues powering them. It does help if it's clean because of armatures, which is sensitive. So if you got something with a lower output impedance as well, and the clean output, it does help things like that. Dynamic drivers, you're a bit more flexible, but yeah, I had no issues with that. So imaging and stage. Actually not bad for imaging again, but I think it's maybe because I don't know if it's because it's an all BA design or how it's tuned or what, but I actually found the imaging was actually not bad at all. So and stage is okay, but don't forget with sound stage, these are in your ear, they're not outside your ear, they're not headphones. So they didn't sound boxed in is the best way to describe it. So yeah, so let's get on to their kind of tonality. They do have that kind of BA-ish sound to them, which it's hard to describe, but anybody who knows the BA timbre will know what I mean. It has a bit of that. Again, I think it helps that all the armatures are in the shell. There's nothing in, it's good that more companies are going away from the ones in the shell, because I don't like when they do that. They're always a bit sharp. You know, like the upper mids, lower trebles, always a bit sharp, and they put like the 30095 in the actual nozzle. So let's get on to what we actually here for, sound. And this is where they fall down, unfortunately. So excuse me. So I'm going to overlay the graph now. So bass really elevated, as you can see. It's bloated bass, which is a shame. You want it to be tighter. And obviously you can see it isn't really elevated, and the mids are really scooped, but I'll get to that. So yeah, big bloated mid bass. It's fun for electronic, but it can get a bit much sometimes. As you can see, it bleeds right into the lower mids, which is good or bad on your preference, but I prefer it to be a bit cleaner. I prefer it to be a lot less bleed than that. I don't mind a little bit because it stops things sounding thin, like I've said a few times, but the bass is really bloated, which is a shame. Maybe it would have been better as a hybrid, or the crossover needs more work, but that's how this model is, as you can see. I wished it was a bit less and a bit cleaner, really, but that's what it is. So mids for vocals are hit and miss. So some vocals are really forward, some are really pushed back. Again, it depends where their kind of vocal range is and obviously what they sing at. So as you can see, like the mids are really scooped, which is a bit of a shame, really. I prefer if it wasn't like that, but that's what it is. So yeah, the upper mids, shouty vocals for some, and other people they're really pushed back in the mix, which is a bit of a shame. I don't know why they've done this, but I'll have my thoughts later on in the video. So yeah, not much to say really, bit disappointing. Treble, again disappointing, really elevated like lower mids, and then it shoots up at 5. So these are fatiguing, is one way of saying it. So they sound like they got bright treble, and then because it falls off a cliff right after, they can sound dark. So they're very bright and very dark at the same time, which is kind of weird. But yeah, as you say, you can see on the graph, then obviously after 10k, the graphs aren't classed as reliable, so obviously you have to bear that in mind. But as you can see, it's not great. I don't know why they decided to do that. I don't really understand. But obviously you can always use a bit of EQ and things like that. So and yeah, so treble, not great. So yeah, so not much to say really. So my thoughts and opinions are, I don't know why they went back to this kind of tuning. I don't know if these are technically a product they've had sitting on like for production, and when it's ready to release it, they just released it. Obviously a lot of their newer models are actually quite good. Like you got the CCA CA, the KZZES, which I like, and the ZEX Pro, the clinical one, that needs a little bit of work with the EQ. But the 3 like decent enough models, and then they released this. Is kind of like a step back. I don't know why, but obviously you can always try to use a bit of EQ. I do like a lot of things about them, like the fit, the finish. All BA units I do like, but the tuning seems really off. I don't know why they kind of did that. So yeah, I won't go too long. So conclusion is, I think they got other models which are better. Like I said, the CRA, the ZES and the ZEX Pro, the Clinical, the CRN Clinical one with a bit of EQ. I think they're better models than these. I do appreciate all BA models, but I don't know what the target is for this. I don't know why they tuned it kind of like that. It's the same for the other all BA units. They always go, the tuning's always a bit wild, shall we say. They've all got like big bass, big upper mids, lower treble. And again, as you can see, there's the treble spike, which is about 5k. It needs a bit of it. It needs a lot of EQing to like help make it smoother to listen to. I like to see what they do next. I'm always curious of KZ and CCA releases, because they can, as you say, like they've released good things and then they release this. This to me feels like it's an older product and then they're just releasing it now. That's what it feels like to me, because it, as you say, that needs a lot of work. I don't really recommend it, which is a bit of a shame. I do like what they've done recently, but like I said, this feels like a step back. It does need more work, but if you want to grab this, please attempt EQ, or if you do like how it looks on a graph, then go ahead, but I'm not really keen in this one, as you can tell. So yeah, that's it. Like I say again, thanks again for KZ for sending it out. I do appreciate it. This really should have a bit more work before it got, you know, manufactured. It needs to be a lot more balanced than it is, because it's dark and bright and then bassy at the same time, so it's kind of funky. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and take care.